Welcome to Steppin Out. I am your host, dlashay, and joining me today is co-host Mr. Everett Anderson. We have a very exciting show planned for today. Joining us is actor and musician Mr. Will Elston. Also, Mr. Spirit of the Man himself, Jermaine Dunlap. Radio personality, Miss Brandy J. Former Tennessee Titans cheerleader and current choreographer, Miss Sissy Brown. And also, from a professional outlook, we have clinical psychotherapist, Miss Tammy Hines. I hope you are ready as we discuss love, relationships, and everything in between on today's episode of Steppin Out with dlashay.
It's time for Stepping Out with dlashay and street reporter Everett Anderson. Stepping Out, the show that encourages you to step out of the box of ordinary and into the extraordinary. Stepping out of the box into a life of liberty and rejuvenation. And now, here's your host of Stepping Out, dlashay.
Welcome back to Steppin Out. Today's discussion, we're talking about love and relationships. The first question I want to direct this way because all of the ladies would like to know. Mr. Spirit of a Man, can men be monogamous?
I would definitely say yes, men can be monogamous. At some point, one thing I've realized in my experience, the reason why I've stepped out, I'll be honest, the reason why I've stepped out is because I didn't die to my fleshly desires. And I really, with some of the mentors I've had in my life, that have been married 30 and 40, 50 years, when you realize that you have to die to your fleshly desires, what pulls you to cheating, then that's what's always going to keep you going back. So one thing I would definitely say men can, and the reason why I want to say men can, because I don't want to teach these young ladies coming up that men can't be, expect them to cheat. And, and another thing is people get married. And I don't think people going into a marriage saying, oh, the person who I'm going to give my life with, the person who I'm going to sign this covenant with between me and God, that this person's going to cheat on me. I don't think any woman's going to go into a marriage with that they're giving themselves to that man. So I definitely think men, or I've had men in my life, my grandfather, they've been married 53 years. And from what I know and what I said, my father has not cheated on my grandmother. So I definitely think men can be.
So do you think it is all fleshly desire? Because men that I know, that I've seen on Facebook, that I watch on TV, that I hear on the radio, it's not always about the fleshly desire. It's just, sometimes it may be just because they can. You may go out and you might go to the store, you might go to the club, you might go swimming, dancing, whatever, and there's somebody there that's willing to go, and you just go because they're willing. Is it always about the flesh, or is it just because, maybe I can do it and get away with it and go home and continue my life?
So, Sissy, you think men just don't have any control?
I think some men don't. I know some men don't have control because, like you said, if you are a man that is faithful to your woman up to a certain point, maybe he might go out and somebody might boost his ego and gas him up, and he feels some type of way. So he succumbs to her for that, more so than his fleshly desire. More so because this woman made him feel some type of way. More so because she's communicating with him in a way that he hasn't been communicated with before. More so because she may make him feel a different way than what he's used to feeling, that he's never felt before. So then he succumbs to that instead of just, oh, she got a big old booty.
Okay.
Well, it definitely comes back to the fleshly desire. That's what it comes back to.
But your initial may not be the fleshly desire.
Well, here's the thing. Honestly, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Do you think, and then I'm gonna come to this table and then ask from a professional perspective, do you think that men have a long time? It takes them a long time to learn that discipline. If it's a fleshly issue, do you think it takes them years to learn that it's a discipline that I need to have to focus on all my attention on this one woman? And if I have fleshly desires, to direct it towards one woman alone. When do a man finally develop that discipline?
Well, I can't speak for every man, But I will say the men that I've talked to, the majority of the men, because I definitely have friends that are in their 30s and 40s that I can say, oh, they've been faithful. But most men that I've spoke to, it's like when they make mistakes and they gain wisdom from their mistake, that's when they start realizing, like, okay, I've messed up. Because honestly, and that's why I say it's so important for fathers and mothers to teach their young boys, because you have to understand, it was cool for us to have 2 or 3. So it all comes down to programming. A lot of young men were not programmed.
So you're saying from what I'm gathering, you're saying a man can't be monogamous until after he stepped out.
No.
I mean, it's how you said once he realized what he had, or once he matures, after he's messed up, then it can be monogamous.
No, I said that I have some friends that I know that are monogamous. I know that are married. I have one of my best friends, 34 years old, just got his doctorate. I can say he's never cheated on his wife. Never cheated on his wife. Then I have some, and that's why I said the first thing, I can't speak for all men, but some of the men I know, some aren't, but I do know majority of men that have stepped out once they gain that wisdom from stepping out. And that's the important. It's one thing having lessons learned and gaining wisdom from where the mistakes that you made.
Right.
But do you have to learn that lesson? Can you just not be monogamous? You know what I mean? Do you have to learn that lesson? Do you have to step out and cheat? Do you have to see a girl at the club and kiss her in the corner to realize, oh, I have something good at home? Or can you just be monogamous?
No, it goes back to what
love your woman and be there for her.
I think that's going to be something we want you to remember that. I want to ask at this table. Do you think a man can be monogamous in a relationship?
I do. I think we all are Christians on stage, and I want to incorporate the fact, like from the Bible's standpoint, Adam, he was married to Eve, and he was dedicated to one wife, but it wasn't anybody else there at the time. But
they have a choice.
Hold on, but later on, as the verses go further, later on, Jacob came along. Y'all remember he worked 14 years for one of his wives. He wanted 2. So it's like it's part what Jermaine said is for his flesh, but at the same time, to me, from my standpoint, it's foundation. I saw my mother and father together for 25 years. But even though they was together for 25 years with Christians, I'm a preacher's kid, I didn't remember nothing but them fussing all the time, and they were cheating on each other. So I took that from the point of, in my relationships, if I didn't feel like I was getting something from my lady, or she wasn't getting something from me, that's how it seems. It ain't got nothing to do with, oh, she got a big booty, so let me mess with it. Oh, I got something good at home. Sometimes I think it's just a mental thing that's going on. And you could be in a relationship where the conversation is not opening up, y'all don't communicate well or whatnot like that. Then most of the time the women, it seems like the men would cheat first before the women, because the women try to hold out on it. But normally y'all would go and just venture into somebody else who, because of, whatnot.
I mean, I agree with what everybody's saying, but also on another point, sometimes when we can cause a void with a man. And when I say that, I know when I was married, once I started having children, they became the priority. So when he wanted us to come together, it was like, no, I gotta put the kids to sleep, or I gotta cook dinner. And he was like, look, I don't care if I have food 3 days a week. I wanna go in the bedroom. Right. My thing was, because of me seeing my parents together all my life, I seen my mom serve and cook food for my dad, but I didn't see the affection part.
Right.
So I had to, once I went through a divorce, I had to understand that I did lack in that area. And I probably did cause him to go somewhere else, to someone else that did talk to him, that did listen to him. But I was busy making sure we had A1 credit, the kids was good, the house was clean. I'm cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because that's what I seen my mom do. Right. But I did neglect him when it came to the affection part.
Me personally, and I'm going to give it to the psychologist, I don't think a man needs a reason to cheat. I really don't think you can be the best wife in the world and cater to his every need. But I just feel like if he hasn't checked himself or value what he has, it's an issue with him. It's never an issue with the woman. We always can have all kind of excuses. But me personally, I don't think a man needs a reason to cheat. If you're a cheater, you're just a cheater. And I have a hard time believing that any man can be monogamous. I'm gonna give it over to the psychologist. We're gonna come back to you. We're gonna let her handle that. That's just my own personal belief.
Everyone has made great points. I think what happens is, in relationships, everyone can stay monogamous if they choose to. What we do is we will make sure our children are taken care of at a daycare, but we won't take care of ourselves on the inside. We grow up with this void. We grow up, times have changed. When our parents were married, there wasn't internet, there was not there was so many other ways for them to have to communicate, where today, our communication is texting. That's so impersonal. A lot of the people that I see in my practice that come, they don't communicate.
So let me ask you, do you know from a statistical basis, in a marriage, is it out of marriages, is it a certain percentage of men that step out on women in a marriage? Like, if you have 1,000 marriages, how many of those marriages deal with the issue of an affair?
Let me just say this. I don't have that statistic, but what I do know is, we want to say that it's the man that cheats all the time, but generally, the marriage is what is failing. You're stopped doing what you've done to fall in love. You know, it takes work to be in a relationship. The grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So you have to put action. It's an action. Marriage is an action. I'm doing something.
Right.
You know,
Right.
It's not, I can just sit back and women tend to gain weight after they get pregnant. You know, it's just
You saying we let ourselves go?
I know I haven't let myself go over the last year, but you know, times are changing. We have stressors. We have finances. We have all of these other things that take up our time. And when we get back to the crib, guess what? We don't have anything left to give to our household.
Right. Okay, the next question, I like all of your comments and statements. The next question that people always want to know is, do women really know what they want?
Oh, definitely.
Sissy, do you think
For
women?
sure. Of course, we're not always talking about all women, all men, all relationships. It's gonna be some. It's not gonna ever be all. I can't speak for everybody, but yes, women know what they want. Especially like Jermaine said, and like Wilson, when you go through things, when you go through a relationship and it goes wrong, you want to right your wrongs. You want to say, okay, I did this in this relationship, it obviously did not work. So my next relationship, I'm gonna work on that. And with me, mine was communication. I was the communicator. He wasn't. I didn't know how to bring it out of him. So I kept communicating. It got on his nerves.
And he probably was never a communicator.
Never.
Okay?
Never.
So what we tend to do is, sometimes we know what we want, but it's a facade. You know, we're looking at this person like, oh, he's definitely it. But he never did any of the things that we know we like. You know, so
Or he did some.
He did some
And
in
you
the
thought you could bring
beginning.
the others out.
Had a case the
So
other
I'ma
day,
ask you-
just like that.
I'm gonna ask you all, do you think women know what they want?
Well, I do, concerning the men, I think for me, it took me to get in my 30s to say what I really wanted, because in my 20s it was just
Are
like,
you a woman?
what?
I said, do women know what they want?
No, I'm saying, I believe they do, faster than the men. That's what I'm going to say about that, because y'all know from teenagers, y'all want to be married, y'all had this fantasy. We just thinking like, I want the finest girl, nice body or whatever like that.
Okay, well, let me reiterate the question. When I say, do women know what they want? I mean, as in, a woman says she wants a good man, a man that provides and works and take care of home. But when they meet a man that may work and provide, oh, he too nice. I need somebody with a little thug in him. That's what I'm asking. Do a woman really know what she wants? Let's be honest. You know, everybody want a good man.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know. So let me break the question down a little
Break
bit.
it
When we
down.
say we want a good man, but when somebody nice come along, oh, he too nice. I need him a little rough around the edges.
It's like you want a good man, but you want excitement.
So a thug can bring you excitement.
No, I mean, if that's what you're accustomed to, then it takes us a little time to learn the fun in a good man. I mean, I'm just being honest. For me being young, I
You like the
dated,
little rough around.
I like the little rough around. And that's because I was raised around church men. My dad's a bishop here in Nashville. So I was always around the church guys. So they were always like really nice and doing this, and I'm like, they are just so boring. That's how I felt. Now at 38, I want a good, nice guy.
With a little rough
nice
on
guy. No, he ain't got that no rough. I don't want a
So Sissy, now that I re-asked the question, you know what he has to have a certain little edge about him?
Not so much an edge, but like you said, of course we all want the man that provides at home. We all want the man that takes care of his kids. We all want the man that's gonna come home after work. You have to go beyond that. I want a man that I'm gonna have fun with. I want a man that I'm gonna communicate with at all times whenever I get home. I want a man that I can be myself and walk around naked and he just look at me and he do his thing, walk around naked, we cooking, whatever. We both like pizza. We finna smash out on some pizza. We're like, oh babe, I just want that overall encompassing relationship, not just he's a good provider, he has a good job. We can take a vacation once a year, blah, blah, blah. That's what everybody wants.
Right.
But you have to go beyond that and say, okay, can I communicate with this man? Can I wake up and say, hey, babe, with my funky breath in the morning, and be like, hey, babe, back.
Right.
It's that extra stuff that you have to look at that makes you want to stay. The surface stuff, that's everybody. But it's the other stuff that makes you want to stay.
Makes sense. That makes sense. From a professional point of view, do women really actually know what they want?
I think each of us knows what we want, but we change. I think we forget that over time we have to grow together. I don't want the same things I wanted when I was 15, hopefully. As I go to college or have life experiences, we change. But we have to grow together. We can't just stop talking. And I've heard you say communicate several times. And that is a big issue in relationships.
Number one.
Thank you. We will continue our conversation with this lovely panel of guests after a few messages from our sponsor.
Choose Venue 109 for your next event. Our number one priority is to fulfill our customers' vision, a virtual blank canvas. Venue 109 can be transformed to meet the requirements of your event. Whether you're having a corporate gathering, wedding, or birthday party, we also offer catering. Venue 109 is located in North Nashville, across from Rivergate Mall. Give us a call at 615-999-6528 or visit us at www.venue109.com.
Partygoers Catering, a taste you can't forget for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We provide exquisite entrees, hors d'oeuvres, and desserts, beautifully designed to make your event successful and unforgettable. We'll handle the details and add a touch of elegance to your next wedding, corporate event, graduation, or special occasion. Our wide selection of menu choices will leave you wanting for nothing. Partygoers Catering. We travel. Call us today at 615-419-1879 or visit partygoerscatering.com.
We live in a world where no one wants to be a loser. But what happens when losing means winning? What are we referring to, you ask? We are talking about inches. Yes, losing inches and shaping your body. The Stepping Out Transformation Project of 2014 is being led by the talk show host and author dlashay and Miss Monica McLaurin. We invite you to join our team as we get healthy and shed off inches off our waist, our hips, arms, and every area that fat likes to tuck in and take up residence. It's time to file an eviction notice on the unhealthy areas of your life and build a new, healthier you. Are you ready? You can do it. Start making the transformation today by liking us on Facebook, visiting our website, and emailing us pictures at steppinouttalkshow@gmail.com. We are stepping out in 2014 to be healthier because we know that as we lose weight, we are winners.
Welcome back to Steppin Out. We are live on location at Venue 109 in Nashville, Tennessee. If you would like to get any of the behind the scenes footage, you can look us up on YouTube at our YouTube channel, Steppin Out Talk Show, and reach out on our online website, www.steppinouttalkshow.com. So let me ask at this table. We always hear the statement from men that women, once they're in a relationship, they fall off and don't give as much attention, or they fall off in caring for themselves. Do men fall off once they start a relationship?
Well, let me hold the mic like I'm Casey from Jokes. Well, first off, I think we put so much energy into pursuing you guys to where we get complacent, and that's why we fall off. But at the same rate, you don't, like, once you start wearing rollers around, but at first you was looking beautiful to us when we would come over and spend the night or whatever, you become what's the
Like
word?
sit-
Yeah, you become
Disagree.
willing. It's kind of like,
Disagree.
well, I mean, that's just my point of view. And
I mean, here's the thing, men know, you see us out like this, you know we're not gonna go home and go to bed like this, you know we're not gonna wake up like this, you know it takes work, you know we got on eyelashes, you know we might have weave in our hair, you
So
know
the
we might
song
not
by
bring our stuff,
Beyonce, I woke up like this, is a lie.
totally true.
Well, I mean, that's small
Not
to what I was
wake
talking
up.
about. I was just talking about the pursuit of it all. Like, we put so much, and sometimes y'all make us work so hard
Yes,
to
you
get
should.
you that we're drained from the fact we don't really care. We just want to play video games, sit around, take care of the bills, we get comfortable.
No.
I'm not saying all men are like that because that's not me. I'm ambitious, so I wanna keep you wrong.
I don't
I'm
think-
evolving.
So I want to ask Brandon, do you think that men fall off when in a relationship?
I think they can get comfortable, and when I say fall off, I think a lot of times once we start going out to eat all the time and we start doing different things, they eat, they gain weight, and we gain weight when we're happy, when we're in a good place. A lot of times we gain weight. They might not get dressed up as often because they get comfortable. Because when you first go out on a date, I just went on one the other week and he came with a nice button-down shirt and pants on. Now, 4 months from now, he might not do that. That's still a form of falling off. It's just getting comfortable. But I feel like, yeah, they can fall off once they get comfortable. And like you said, they might not have to pursue as much because now they got us.
And honestly, a lot of men start off just showing their representative instead of a real person who they really are.
They put the best stock in the window.
Yeah.
And the store
But
shabby.
that stems from, a lot of things from low self-esteem.
Do you think men fall off?
But no, I definitely think we can fall off, but I think it's so much because our focus shifts. Because you get a lot of men that, like you said, we pursue, once we got you. A lot of good men, it gets to careers, jobs, and we want to maintain you. So what happens, our focus shifts from you, which is wrong. I mean, one thing I've learned in the past is one thing about spirit of man I've learned is when that woman walks out of the door, you need to say to yourself, I don't want any other man to love my woman more than I love her. And vice versa, the woman should say, I don't want any woman to respect my man more than I respect her. That's good.
And what we need to do is we fall in love with, what attracts us to someone is their outer appearance, okay? In 2.4 seconds flat, I could walk out this door and get in an accident and lose both my legs and be laid up in a coma. We need to fall in love with the person inside. And that's what we are so, she wear weave, he got a stomach. We are so...
Yeah, but I don't want a stomach.
I don't either. But if you're taking me out to eat every day, that's what's going to happen. So maybe we need to go exercise.
I understand what you're saying from a psychological point of view, but physical image is important.
Absolutely.
I think that men sometimes they want their woman to always you want her to come to bed and not have that bonnet
Not
on,
gonna happen.
and you praying that she comes to bed in the natural state God created her naked, and you laying up there and you looking like a big grizzly bear.
But honestly,
Image is important to us too.
Image is important to everybody.
We want you to look at, we want them to look at our man and get turned on. We want to be able to not have to get up under some belly,
Let me say this.
PG, but we don't want to have to deal with all of that.
Let me say this
But
as
men
far as
know
the
it's not
image.
important to them as it is, to stay nice looking and stay well groomed. They want us always groomed and wake up beautiful, go to bed beautiful. But I just think that it's important that they, take care of their health.
Absolutely.
Especially, with black men, they don't always groom
Take care of
themselves
themselves
and take
very
care of
let me say
themselves.
this about the image part right quick. I know I said something earlier, but just to be real, I don't know no man who's not going to want to have sex just because you got rolls in your head. You're still going to
I don't either.
just lay there. I mean, that's just being real. So,
But they complain about it.
Just because we still want you to look.
Most of the time, men want women to come to bed, beautiful, always. If you come to bed on Monday and you have on all your sexy clothes, he expect that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Nah,
But then he's laying up in the bed with his undergarments.
Let me speak for a man. I don't
You
think.
didn't have a white beat on and ponytail.
Yeah, I don't.
Come
Honestly,
on,
I
let's
don't
be
think-
honest. We're being honest.
No, I don't think majority of men, like he said, when it comes down to, we're gonna say, "Ooh, you have rollers in your hair." What I think we're so caught up on appearance, we're so caught on this appearance thing that's not even the big thing about falling off. That's only it's small. That's a small portion. Falling off just as well as you said, men. Women, when women fall off, as far as that respect level, that nurturing level, that goes because, as she said earlier, she had kids. So her focus went somewhere else. And I've come to find out that, like I said, it's not so much of the falling off part, it's your focus because, like I said, you're comfortable, you got complacent. Now you want to grind, you want to get your money, you want your house, you want everything. So it's not so much of, hey, you falling off. It's like, we need to get back focused. And it comes back to what Cece said, that communication. Because that's where a lot of relationships fall off at. Because the lack of communication. And the thing is, next thing you know, it just goes on and on. Let me say this one point. It's almost like a job. If you're a manager of any business,
You have goals.
Well, you have goals, but if you have, and I'm not saying they're employed, but they give you expectations. The job gives you expectations.
But they give you incentives.
But they give you incentives. But the thing is, if somebody on your same level, I'm not saying your mate is your employee, but if they come in late every day, then they're expecting, okay, that's fine, because they have accepted it. So the thing comes out just like a job. If you want to, especially as a man being the head of the relationship, there has to be some expectations on both ends, respect, and the woman being the neck of the relationship. Both have to set the expectations, stick to the expectations, and when they change, you got to communicate.
The expectations are going to change. The expectations are going to change, and what we do a lot of times, they definitely are.
Change.
But what we do a lot of times is we don't inventory our relationship.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
We have expectations going in. What do they say? We're going to love each other till death do you part, and I can't remember all the rest. But, you know, we don't do that on an ongoing basis. What we do is we build up resentments. He gained 10 pounds. She gained 20 pounds. We don't say anything about it until it has gotten to a point where you buy, clothes for each other. So you know that the mate is getting bigger. So at that point...
Well, I understand that, but when does the point where you say you have to be completely honest with each other? And the reason why I say that, because I've been, I was in a marriage where we were married 13 years. And yeah, we both gained weight. But when it gets to the point where you keep gaining weight, I think you have to be honest with each other. Most men will not be honest with their wife.
They won't.
If she's gained 30 or 40 pounds and he don't like it,
he'll start verbally abusing her.
He may verbally abuse her. Or if she say, baby, am I picking up weight? Or how to, baby, you still look good. She still look good, but you know what? You can be honest with her and say, baby, I really don't like you.
And I'm going to say this all.
And then even with men, drink your tea.
Tune in next week for part 2 of this series, Love and Relationships, right here on the Steppin Out Talk Show with dlashay.
So when we look at a relationship, we have to look at the whole relationship. But what we do is, we're not getting told we love you. I have couples that come in my office and they can't even look each other in the eye and communicate.